Have you ever imagined going to school but you're not allowed to speak your own language? You can even practice your own religion. That sounds unfair. Well, that's the reality for millions of Muslim minorities in China. Today, we are going to talk about unequal education access in Muslim minorities. So, what's the main problem here? The main problem here is discrimination. Many Muslims feel restriction on their religion, culture, and language. Education should help people to learn and grow. But for some of these communities, schools can also become places where their identity is weakened. That's why the problem isn't only about education, but also about human rights. This is happening in China, especially at Xinjiang, Ningxia, and Gansu, where the most Muslim minority communities live. These are the regions that feel the biggest impact from unfair policies. The people most affected are Uyghur and Hui Muslims. These are students, teachers, and families whose daily lives are influenced by these policies and restrictions.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Amira Sherwanie. Next, I will present the evidence that support this issue. The first evidence is the Mandarin-only education policy. Uyghur students are mainly taught in Mandarin, with little or no use of their native language. This can make it more difficult for them to preserve their language and cultural identity through education. The second evidence is the forced boarding schools and family separation. Many Uyghur children are placed in state boarding school and separated from their families. As a result, they may have fewer opportunities to learn their cultural tradition, value, and way of life from their communities. The third evidence is the closure of minority language schools. Some schools that previously taught in the Uyghur language have been closed or reduced. This limits access to education that reflect the students' cultural and linguistic background. The fourth evidence is the disparity in education among Hui Muslims. Research shows that Hui Muslims generally have a fewer years of schooling compared to the Han majority, and some communities continue to experience high illiteracy rates. This suggests that educational opportunities are not always equal among different groups. The final evidence is a cultural separation through the education system. Some education policy may pressure minority students to assimilate into the dominant culture by reducing the use of their language, religion, and tradition. Over time, this can affect their identity and sense of belonging. Overall, this example shows that unequal education access is not only about attending school, it is also about having fair opportunities to preserve their language, culture, and identity through education.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Irdina Azhan. Next, I will be presenting the solution and impact related to unequal education access for Muslim minority communities. To begin with, students can spread awareness through social media by sharing educational content about Muslim minority communities. This helps people gain a better understanding and reduce stereotypes and misconceptions. Another solution is organizing seminar, discussion, and awareness campaigns on campus. This activity provides opportunity for people to learn about the importance of equality, tolerance, and mutual respect. Moreover, students can work together through clubs and student organizations to promote inclusivity and diversity. By encouraging teamwork and interaction among different groups, students can create a more welcoming environment for everyone. By implementing this solution, several positive impact can be achieved. One positive impact is increased awareness and understanding among students and society. People become more informed about the challenge faced by Muslim minority and are less likely to hold negative stereotypes. Another important impact is the creation of a more inclusive and respectful environment. Students from different culture and religious backgrounds will feel more accepted, valued, and comfortable in education setting. A further benefit is the reduction of discrimination and social exclusions. This promotes equality and encourages a more harmonious society.
Hi. From a management perspective, addressing unequal education access requires strong communication, leadership, and teamwork. First, effective communication management is very important. By using social media, campaigns, and awareness programs, we can educate the public and reduce misunderstandings about Muslim minorities. Clear and consistent communication helps building empathy and understanding among different communities. Second, leadership and teamwork play a key role. Students, leaders, organizations, and communities must work together to organize seminars, discussions, and awareness campaigns. These collective efforts can promote inclusivity, respect, and equal opportunities for everyone. Overall, proper management ensures that the solutions are not only planned but also successfully implemented in society.
Hello, my name is Wan and I will talk about Islamic perspective, whereby in Islam it encourages for us to gain knowledge, to get the access for education, as our first revelation is Iqra, which means read. So in Islam it established the absolute equality for human. As stated in Surah Al-Hujurat verse 13, humanity was made into different peoples and tribes simply to know each another, making race and ethnicity as invalid basis for discrimination. Second is the structural exclusion of this community faced is in the form of oppression or zalim. In Surah Nisa verse 135, it commands that believers to stand firmly for justice, which means the prohibition for injustice is absolute. The third point is that denying the minority student and equal education directly violate the divine right to education, as well known in a hadith that it takes seeking knowledge is an obligation upon every Muslim. Therefore, to restrict education is restrict a religious duty. Next, in Surah Al-Hujurat also remind us that to have respect for diversity, promoting peaceful coexistence rather than forced assimilation. Because of this, we have collective duty to promote justice, as according to Surah Al-Imran, to do a amar ma'ruf wa nahi munkar, which to encourage what is right and forbid what is wrong. Therefore, tackling educational inequality is not optional. By spreading awareness and fostering inclusive campus environment, we align ourselves with this divine principle of justice, equality, and the universal right to learn.
Incorporation and equal access to education among Muslim minorities is a serious issue that affects their future and identity. However, through awareness, education, and collective effort, we can reduce discrimination and create a more inclusive and respectful society. It is our responsibility as students and global citizens to promote equality, support diversity, and ensure that everyone has the right to education. Together, we can make a positive change. That's all from us. Thank you.